What up, guys? Today we are trying out the patch 9 blocking thunder hammer, and I am obviously really excited about this one because the blocking thunder hammer was one of my favorite weapons when I started using blocking. This is definitely the weapon that kind of appealed the most to me, is the blocking thunder hammer, especially with the assault class. And yes, we are doing a bit of slam damage. We are using smiting angel here instead of precision strike, just because I kind of want to try out the smiting angel buff. And then, not to mention, we do get a big radius because we don't nerf our radius because of precision strike, but the damage for precision strike is also very powerful. And yes, we do have unyielding oath as well, so this slam right here, it is pretty good. This blocking thunder hammer puts out a lot of damage. I think this is likely the most damage we've ever seen melee capable of. Now, this execution here, we did have unmatched zeal. I was trying to save that for my teammate, but then the extremist almost waked up, so I had to go for it. So here, I figured out, hey, there we go. There's an extremist for you. Hopefully they take that execution and heal from it. This was a pretty wild way to start this operation. And yeah, look at the Vanguard. The Vanguard did not end up healing from that execution. Where did it go? Somebody had to, right? Somebody had to. Okay, there we go. There we go. The Vanguard ended up getting that extremist. That's nice. Yeah, this one started off pretty sweaty. There was a couple of extremist spawns, and not to mention, if the enemies are grouped up, I'm getting pretty good damage from my ground slam, considering I still have a pretty wide damage radius. Now, we did get zoanthrope spawns here, and I am definitely getting pelted by spore mines there. I definitely failed to dodge those. That wasn't really me dodging into them. I just failed to dodge them. So yeah, I mean, look, we have healing. We have healing. We have 2 zoanthropes here. Surely, this is going to be enough healing for me and my teammate. I was going to go jump on this one, but luckily, the Vanguard was there, because I feel like if I got that one, then perhaps this next one might have been harder to get for whatever reason. But yeah, still, the Vanguard was able to get some healing. I was able to get some healing, and we basically put ourselves in a better position. The extremists really were funneling in here, so we were definitely getting a lot of damage there. When I went up to try to, execute the zoanthrope, I didn't see the Vanguard, so luckily he was able to grapple in there and get some healing. And now, the reason I'm saying that, yeah, exactly, the reason why I was saying for whatever reason is because there was 100% going to be an extremist spawn soon. So if that zoanthrope, or if the zoanthrope pair was around for any longer, that lictor could have been a lot more dangerous, and not to mention we still had a biovore. So yeah, this entire operation started off pretty sweaty. It started off pretty sweaty. And yes, we did end up getting a tactical to join us, which is nice. Oh, big double slam there. You're going to get a lot of damage from double slams with blocking thunder hammers, which is nice. So yeah, I definitely recommend when you're using the blocking thunder hammer, I definitely recommend trying your best to get the double charge slams. Now here, I was able to continuously slam down because I was getting cooldown back from the assault perk, which is nice. And boom, blocking, boom, blocking. Yeah, for whatever reason, whenever I have the blocking thunder hammer, I just feel a lot more confident with it. And yeah, right there, that was an unfortunate, I did not have the hyper armor there, so that was an unfortunate trade right there. And since we do have healing, we also have physiology as well, which this is definitely my least favorite tactical perk to see. But I didn't leave the game because of it, so you do not need to leave the game for a team perk that you don't like. We definitely seen that before. And yeah, these are Terminators. I'm trying my best to get the double stack there. Luckily, we were able to take out that Terminator because my teammate had the Melta there, which is very interesting. And we are going to try to get a double stack blocking slam on the sorcerer here. And I'm not too sure how that ended up because I didn't even get any sort of corruption build up. Honestly, that just seemed to work out pretty well. But the sorcerer was still kind of healthy, so I'm not even 100% sure if I had full damage there, which is pretty interesting. But yes, blocking, as soon as you get used to blocking, I think it's very, very fun. This is the way I like blocking, is as long as it does a lot of melee damage, it feels pretty good to use. And not to mention, the assault class's survivability has been a lot better recently. The Unyielding Oath. Unyielding Oath is definitely worth it. As long as you can get your jetpack, and as long as you are supporting your cooldown, you're actually put into a position to just press triangle whenever you're in a situation that's a little bit too sweaty. Maybe there's too many enemies around you and you're worried about getting too much damage. You can simply just jump up in the air and get some iframes and then go for a big slam. So honestly, I'm really enjoying the jetpack slamming assault class at the moment. It feels very, very fun, especially with the blocking Thunderhammer. And not to mention, we're not even using Precision Strike here. And you can see us get some really good damage on Terminators, on pretty much anything we slam down in this operation. This operation can be a bit weird. 100% people still kind of have a tough time navigating this operation, but luckily I had two pretty good teammates. Whenever it comes to Absolute 2.0, you should likely find good teammates now. I really hope you are. Even if one of the teammates are using a team perk that you don't know you would like, they probably know how to use it in Absolute 2.0, which is nice. Yep, another big double slam. Dude, the blocking double slam is so powerful. Oh, yes, I also want to talk about my look here. This is definitely a Raven Guard, and I tried my best to make it look like the Chapter Master, essentially. That new Raven Guard Chapter Master statue kind of looks pretty insane, so hopefully I can get my hands on it one day, but maybe not. It's probably going to be really expensive. But yes, it looks so cool, so I tried my best to make it look like that. The white helmet looks really sick. I really like the fact that this is an accident, but the Raven Guard logo on the front is still black. So I think that makes it look very cool. This is honestly probably my favorite customization I've done in the game, as far as, like paints or anything like that. Oh, yeah, but dude, this running attack on the blocking Thunderhammer feels so good, especially just to follow up. Oh, yeah, I guess I could talk about the speed of this weapon. I think that, honestly, as long as you are making sure that you have good damage with it, you can practically just trade with like whatever you want. I mean, as long as you're slamming, I guess, or charge attacks, running attacks, those sort of things. If you're doing that with the blocking Thunderhammer, it feels really good. I felt like whenever I needed to actually swing the weapon, I wanted to do a running attack just so it felt a little bit stronger. Yeah, but honestly, as long as you can get your cooldown with the slams, you're into a really good position to just continuously slam, and it's honestly so powerful. Like, dude, when I was using the blocking Thunderhammer in this way, I was just like, wow, if there's a group of enemies and you have jetpack slam, you can just boom slam, get your jetpack back. You can continuously go through iframes. Not to mention also put up a lot of damage, and not to mention also have a lot of damage radius. So I think Smiting Angel, the buff to it, is actually pretty interesting if you want to consider the fact, hey, you know what, I'm keeping my radius wide for the slammage. It's for the slamming, so as long as you can find a big group of enemies, you're probably in a good spot for that. Now, this was a tough situation here because I was getting rockets in. That rubric caught me off guard. I'm not too sure why I feel so isolated. Oh, because, yeah, one of my teammates were down, so I definitely took on a little bit of just a little bit of extra aggro that I wasn't too aware of. I definitely should have been more aware of my surroundings there. The Rubric Marine definitely caught me in one of my blind spots. But not to mention, the Terminator was doing the rockets, so I was kind of just focusing on the rockets there. Now, for this part of this operation, this part can definitely get a little bit sweaty as well. I honestly really enjoy this operation. This was one of the operations I felt like I haven't done in a long time, so when I came back to it, I was like, dude, honestly, this operation has really good pacing. Now, in this Absolute run specifically, we did not run into a Terminus, which I was kind of disappointed about because, obviously, I wanted to get some good damage numbers with that. But with the blocking Thunderhammer, I definitely want to continue using this and try out some different perks for it. And even in this run, it wasn't as powerful as you could get it. You can definitely get extra damage with it if you sacrifice the damage radius of the slam. Now, yeah, here's another example of just me slamming down on a sorcerer. I guess it just breaks the shield for whatever reason, and maybe I don't get corruption. I was kind of surprised by that. I thought I would have at least got some status effect. You know, I probably should have been able to see some of the, the illusions and stuff, but no, apparently it just didn't happen. Now here I just said, whatever, I'm just going to try to hit through that, which was absolutely insane. The perk that helps out the assault class's contested health is definitely worth it. I think it's very fun to use. There's a stim right there, which I was like, okay, I'll just pick this up just in case. I wasn't too sure how healthy I was going to stay because that, by the way, yeah, that sorcerer was overkilled by the slam, which is great. So that's why I wanted to get healing from that, but my teammates were far away from the stim anyway, and they were on top of the objectives here, so I don't think my teammates would have went back and picked up that stim anyway. For the most part, this run was actually pretty clean. As long as there was a group of enemies with the blocking Thunderhammer, they're not an issue for this class at all. Like, dude, it is so much more fun to play this class now. You're basically put into a position to sustain yourself just through DPS, basically. I mean, in one way or the other. Like, you're either doing a lot of slams or you're doing a lot of perfect dodges. So those are two very good ways to continuously sustain yourself, because with slams you're getting iframes, with perfect dodges obviously you're getting iframes. So if you're doing your jetpacks right, you're basically avoiding a lot of damage. I just wanted to keep taking those enemies out. Dude, seriously, when you get on a run like that and you just keep executing over and over again, the assault class becomes like one of the strongest classes in the game. As far as burst damage goes, dude, you really have to consider how much burst damage a blocking Thunderhammer has. The assault class, as long as there's a lot of waves of enemies, probably could put up the most DPS in the game, or at least close to it. But yeah, that Raven Guard looks very sick. The blocking Thunderhammer is very cool. I want to bring it into hard siege mode soon, 100%.